So in previous lecture we have finished with the radial probability curve or the distribution probability of various orbitals for the hydrogen atom. Now we will see the radial plots for the hydrogen atom and their significance of radial functions. So for s orbital, the radial plots will look like this. Okay. So this is the y-axis where we plot the magnitude of r, which is the function of what? Principal quantum number and azimuthal quantum number, and small r is the distance between nucleus and electron. Okay. So for s orbital, or specifically 1s orbital, we'll get such type of curve. Okay. So for s orbital, just remember that the curve will start from the nucleus. Okay, or the when distance is r is equals to 0, so at that point it is maximum. Okay, and it will tends to decrease as the distance has been reaching to the infinity value. So for 2s again we will be having such curve, but there is one node. Okay, this is node is what? Node is something like where the sign will changes for the wave function. Okay, so here we can see this, here it is positive but here it is negative. Okay, so for 2s orbital there is a one node, so for 2s orbital there is a one radial node. Okay, so now next is the for 3s orbital. Okay, so for 3s orbital we can have the initially maximum value, then first node here is here, then again increasing, then second node will again obtain here, and last again it will reaches to the 0. Okay, so in order to find the number of radial nodes we will use the general formula, which is n minus l minus 1. Okay, n minus l minus 1, this formula, where n is what? Principal quantum number, l is azimuthal quantum number. So for p orbital, d orbital and f orbital, the radial function will start from 0. Okay, from 0 value, origin it will start from origin, but for s or s orbital it will be started from some finite value. Okay, so for 2p orbital we are having 0 node. Why is it so? Because n is 2 minus l, for p orbital l is 1 minus 1, so overall we get 0 nodes. So for p orbital we will be having such type of radial distribution plot. Okay, radial plot. Now for 3p orbital we will be having one node. Okay, so the radial plots will looks like this. So you need to like just tell the shape of the plot for the various orbitals and how many types of nodes are there. Okay, so there are one node for the 3p orbital. Now for d orbital again there is a one 3d. So 3d orbital is having again 0 node. Okay, and it will be again starting from the origin. So for 3d orbital n is 3 minus l is what? 2, for d orbital minus 1, so overall we get 0. So there are 0 node for the radial plots. So the plots of r and l against the radial distance r is called as a radial plots, or the plots of radial functions. The radial wave functions are independent of angle theta and phi. Okay, so these functions are only depending upon the distance between electron and nucleus, that is r. Okay, small r. So for 2s, 3s and 1s orbital, the r and l is maximum at the nucleus, whereas for p orbital and for d orbital it is being 0 at the nucleus. The radial functions are having n minus 1 nodes for what? Which orbital? It will be for s orbital, n minus 2 nodes for the p orbital, and n minus 3 orbitals for the d orbitals. Okay, so simply we can say that there are n minus l minus 1 nodes are present for the given orbital. Okay, and how many number of peaks we can find out by simply this formula, n minus l. Okay, so the number of peaks in the distribution curve can be obtained by n minus l formula, and the number of radial nodes can be obtained by simply n minus l minus 1 formula. Okay. Now next important thing is the significance of various quantum numbers. Okay, so we have obtained the three types of quantum numbers, that is principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, and magnetic quantum number. So we will see their uses or significance one by one. Okay, so first is the principal quantum number. Okay, it is denoted by what? Which symbol? It is denoted by small n. Okay, small n. Now it is arises from the solution of a radial part of the wave function, which will determine the energy of a orbital. It can have only integer values, which are those n is equals to 1, 2, 3 up to so on. So it is quantitatively related with the distance of electron from the nucleus. So this principal quantum number will determine the shell in the atomic structure. Okay, and these shells can also be represented by the some capital letters like K, L, M. Okay, so for n is equals to 1, we will say that electron is present in the K shell. For n is equals to 2, we can say that electron is present in what? L shell. And lastly, it is present in the M shell when the n is equals to 3. So this is the principal quantum number. Okay, so it will signify the energy of a given electron. So for given electron, if we have been given the principal quantum number value, that is n, we can say that or we can calculate the energy of given electron. Okay, so along with this we will be requiring the L value also. Okay, so L value is what? L value is nothing but the azimuthal quantum number. So this quantum number is arises from the solution of what? Angular part. Okay, angular part of wave equation. So it will determine the magnitude as well as angular momentum of a electron. Okay, so it is a vector quantity, so we can find out the magnitude as well as direction of that particular electron. So shape of various orbitals like sp, d, f, so all of the shape or the s orbitals can be obtained by using this L value or the angular part of the wave equation. So for particular orbital, we'll assume the certain values for the L. Okay, so values for L are ranging from 0, 1, 2 up to n minus 1. So corresponding to these values, the value of L will be having certain orbitals. Okay, so for L is equals to 0, we are saying electron is present in the s orbital. When L is equals to 1, we say that electron is present in the p orbital. Okay, for 2 it is d, and for 3 it is f. Okay, so for an electron which is bound to an atom, the value of L will go with which it is attached to the nucleus. Okay, so all the orbitals with L is not equals to 0 are having 0 amplitude at the nucleus. So we have seen this in the previous radial plots that electron will reside only in the outer orbitals. Okay, so all the orbitals with L is not equals to 0, they are having the 0 amplitude at the nucleus, and there is a 0 probability of finding the electron at the nucleus. Okay, so larger the value of L, weaker is the interaction with electron and the nucleus. So when we say that electron is present in the s orbital, we can say that it is quite strongly bound with the nucleus, and when electron is present in the other orbitals like p, d or f, these electrons are quite less bound with the nucleus. Okay, because there is a less attractive force as compared with the s orbitals. Okay, now next quantum number is the magnetic quantum number. So this quantum number will determine the different quantities of the space orientation of a angular momentum of a electron. Okay, so angular momentum is being what? Vector quantity, so it has the certain direction. So when external magnetic field is being applied, the magnetic quantum numbers are emerged, and it will indicate the direction and magnitude of the angular momentum vector. So it will have the certain values. Okay, so depending upon the m value, we can predict the electron is either present in say px orbital or py orbital or pz orbital. Okay, so in which direction electron is present, that will tell by using this m value. Okay, so for p orbital we can say that there are three values of the m. So how we can say that there are 3 values of m? So in order to find out the number of values for the m, we can use the general formula, that is 2l plus 1. So there are 3 values for the p orbital, and these values should range from what? Plus l to minus l. Okay, so the values for the magnetic quantum number will range from plus l to minus l. Okay, so these are the 3 quantum numbers that we have obtained and we have seen their physical significance and application part. Okay, now next part is the approximate solution, which will be used for the 2 electron system. Okay, so up to now we have seen the various systems like 1D 2D box or the rigid rotor or hydrogen atom problem. Okay, so there is like we are considering only the 1 electron system. Okay, we are like changing the nucleus, even if in the case of helium plus or lithium 2 plus. Okay, that type of atom also containing only 1 electron in their valence shell. But if we consider the say helium atom, so what is the condition for helium atom? So in helium atom there are 2 protons, okay, and 2 electrons which are revolving around the nucleus. Okay, so there are 2 electrons, say electron 1 and electron 2. Here is my nucleus. Okay, okay, there are 2 protons and 2 electrons in the case of helium. Okay, now if these electrons are interacting with nucleus, so previously we have seen that for helium plus one of this electron will be absent. Okay, for helium plus one of this electron will not be present, so we are just considering only this attractive force between nucleus and this electron. Okay, so this electron is absent if we consider the helium plus, but in the case of helium atom there are what? Two electrons are there around the nucleus. Okay, one is say lies here and another one is lies here. Okay, so along with this there are nucleus in the center. Okay, so there is a attractive forces between electron which is quite normal. Okay, so this attractive forces will result into what? Decrease in the overall energy of a system. But due to this electron and this electron there is a quite electron repulsion. Okay, electron repulsion, and due to this electron repulsion there is an increase in the energy of system. Okay, and previously we have seen this, like for obtaining the solution of a 1 electron system, like for hydrogen or rigid rotor, we have to solve the all the first we have to convert our wave equation into spherical coordinates, and then we have to like use the variable separation method and obtain the simplified wave equations for the R, T and F equation, and we have to again lastly solve this R, T and F equation, and finally we will write the overall wave equation. Okay, but in the case of 2 electron system there will be again quite large number of variables associated with nucleus, associated with electron 1 and associated with the electron 2. Okay, so there are total 9 variables are there. So for such system, like obtaining the solution by using our conventional method is quite difficult. Okay, so how we can obtain this type of solution? So for obtaining the solution of this type of problems where more than one electron is present, so we will apply that multi-electron. Okay, this is also called as a multi-electron problems. Okay, if electrons are present more than one, we call it as a multi-electron problem. So for obtaining the solution for this multi-electron system, we will use the certain approximate methods. Okay, so how will you apply this approximate methods, that we can see in the next lecture.